everybody. Welcome back to Disney Inside Out. I'm your host, Andrea, with
Ryan.
Yay! Now I'm getting to host today, which is like very exciting.
It's amazing.
And you might regret it. Okay, let's see.
You might just take a total different turn. I'm like, wait. I'm like, have you ever seen Addams Family Values?
Of course
you
I
have. Why am I even asking that? But you know when they're doing the play and she's like, Gary, she's changing the words. That's what I would feel like. I'm like,
we cannot break bread with you.
Yeah. I will not break bread with you, Sarah. What is her name? Sarah Williams?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
she also lets her drown, but she does live after that too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
Malibu Barbie. I'm just going to
I was a ballerina. Graceful. Delicate. They had to go. Click. I love John Cusack. Okay.
All right, I wish that was a Disney property. It's not.
No,
it's not. I already looked into it because I, again, have had to watch the 2 animated films that have come out in the past several years. I actually wish that they would further that IP, like if there's a series, because there was a time when one of my little boys that I nanny would just watch the same 2 of them back to back. And I'm like, I can't watch Lurch, like, you know, getting hit by this car anymore and how the origin story of him. It is, I hate this.
Origin story.
Spoiler alert. That's how they posit that they met Lurch, that Morticia and Gomez met.
Oh, I
met Lurch, according to the animated one. But we're not here to talk about Addams Family or Addams Family
or
values,
Halloween stuff
or Halloween stuff at all. We're here to talk about another holiday. Ryan and I decided that this episode we were going to talk about our perfect winter holiday trip that we could plan with each other to Disney World. I do hope in the future that we will have a chance to go to Disney World together. I feel like it sure will happen.
Yeah, we could do that.
You have been during the winter holidays. Mm-hmm. I've never been, just because like I am a poor, but in this version I'm going to pretend I'm not a poor.
Yeah, there's no financial, like this is like total, like money's not a thing.
What would you do if you had no fear and unlimited money?
Yeah, exactly.
You would do this. So today we're going to each take 2 parks. And then we're going to discuss what our perfect holiday plans would be. At the end of this, please post. Let us know what you would have done, what things interest you. If there's any snacks, we love to hear it. But these are just, you know, our thoughts.
I was going to mention too, like at the time we're recording this, they haven't announced the details of specific things that'll be going on at the holidays, so we're kind of going off of like what's happened last year or previous. Usually it's the same stuff. There might be some new things, but you can pretty much guarantee most of it's the same. So
we decided we're each going to take 2 parks.
Yes.
My parks that I took were Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you like what my perfect day would be like. But I did add a little thing on here in that I picked a place where I wanted to stay.
Me too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be the same. If it is, great. But if not,
it might be split stay. I've never done that.
I never have either.
People do split stays, but I've never done it.
I also, again, money has always been a huge factor for me. I've stayed only up until like a moderate before. I've never gone to deluxe.
Yeah.
So I would want to stay at Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, I've never stayed there, but we did a character dining there, and it's so beautiful. I stay there.
It's the interior is so beautiful.
The lobby is like,
it's so it's just incredibly like, it's iconic is what I'm trying to say.
When you walk in, it's so big.
Yes. It's a huge space. Of course, there's a beautiful Christmas tree with very rustic decorations when you walk in. It feels like you could be staying by like Santa's workshop. That's why I wanted to pick
like
that
North
one.
Pole feel.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's giving glamping, and that's good for me because
me too. I don't camp.
I don't camp. Although,
unless it's
unless glamp. Yeah. My thing is like, I love nature. I appreciate nature. I like to look at it and then go back to civilization.
Yeah, I don't want to sleep in it.
No, I don't want that. Yeah. But yeah, it's giving glamping. Although I do know that they have RV spaces that you can stay in at Wilderness Lodge, like if you wanted to.
Yeah, Fort Wilderness is so much fun to stay at if you like that sort of camping feel.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
That's why I was like, oh, this would be such a fun thing. I not only have I never stayed here, I don't think anyone in my family has ever stayed here either. My sister and her kids love Animal Kingdom. Like, it's just, kids love that. You get to be so close to the animals. It makes sense. But I just want to say, the reason I picked this is I got to see like the list of holiday activities that they have at Wilderness Lodge. Here are just like a few. One is you get to have a holiday cookie hunt where it's like a scavenger hunt for like cookies.
Sign me up.
There's, of course, they have a campfire, and then like Chip and Dale, like they sing campfire songs, and this one is specific to holiday ones. But the one that really stood out to me is there's a holiday golf cart extravaganza. Oh, yeah. And apparently they do this for 4th of July. Yeah. They do this for Halloween, is that you can rent a golf cart and you can dress it up. And then there is a parade, a holiday parade. And I thought this was so cute and so inventive. It also reminded me, because my parents live in the Villages in Florida, and your golf cart is like who you are there. Yeah. You know, and they dress it up and we'll have parades like down there. So it really stood out to me. So it looks so beautiful. And I was like, then they have like Movie Under the Stars. You can watch Home Alone is on this particular one that I was looking at. Yeah. It just was giving like wintry cabin vibes, and I want to be there for it. Yeah. So that's where we're staying for the 5 days of our 10-day trip, unless you pick the same. Did you pick the same place?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. So
there are enough resorts where it was a chance that we weren't going to pick it.
But yeah.
Okay, so the first half of our stay, we're going to be there at Wilderness Lodge. When we go to Hollywood Studios, here's the plan.
Yes.
First of all, I'm going to cheat, and we are going to have a half day already at Hollywood Studios, because you need to park hop. If you're going to be there for 10 days, you got to park hop. Yeah. You want to get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yes.
And that will be important too, because like you'll want to cover the rides that potentially you're not going to be able to go on during a very special event that just premiered last year, which is Jollywood Nights.
Yeah, I've never been.
So it's just a year old, so you wouldn't have had a chance to go.
Gone, but I would love it.
It's an event that happens on select days, similar to the other parties that they have, like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Hard ticketed event. Debuted last year. It definitely seems to be targeted more towards adults, which is super fun. Yeah. Although from what I saw, it looked like there were plenty of children there who were having a great time during it.
I felt like this one, the thing that was different is that you can have alcohol at Hollywood Studios. So there are way more like cocktail options for people that want to drink versus like Magic Kingdom doesn't have that. So this did feel like that.
Do you drink?
Not really.
I don't drink at all. And there is over by one of the offerings that they have is, I'll just jump around a little, but there is the Twilight Soiree over by the Tip Top Club in the courtyard of the Tower of Terror.
So cool.
And it's very like
a swanky.
Like singing like jukebox, like what am I trying to say, like
standards,
or like kind of big band-esque, and they have like a nice bar over there. What I did see is, of course, they thought about the non-drinkers. They have a sparkling pomegranate cider, and I was like, I want that. I want us to do a nice little cheers, while we're watching that band. So yeah, for instance, there's like kind of like a more clubby feel over there. The Twilight Soiree at the Tip Top Club, it happens several times throughout the evening. They do short sets. So like you'll definitely, if you're coming off of Tower of Terror, you're going to catch them. So, but back to like how I would start this all. So sorry, Jollywood Nights, it starts at 7:30. And it seems to be offered, last year it was offered on 13 dates. I think it'll probably be around the same.
I'm sure.
But you can get in at 6 p.m. Last year it was 7 p.m. So you've got a whole other hour.
Okay.
So this is different from the Christmas party at Magic Kingdom, where you can enter at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of difference, which also makes it also a little more adult too. It goes till 12:30. And the prices, they seem to range from like $159 to like $179, but we're rich in this, so who cares?
Yeah, black Amexes.
Yeah, I absolutely, yes. And it's made of like that really graphite, you know. I would want us to enter at 6 p.m.
Of course.
I would be like waiting there for us to get in, like I am with the Halloween party. So then we can beat the sad poors who decided to not plan and went to Fantasmic, which was a stupid idea for them, right? Because that starts at 6:30. So then when they leave Fantasmic, they will be ushered out and they will be banned and say, go home if you don't have the lanyard or the little wristband. Yes. So my strategy would be, then we go to the back of the park and then work our way back up. So I'd want to go because, you know, Fantasmic entrance is right by where Tower of Terror is. It's right by where Rock and Roller Coaster is. Mm-hmm. And then you're not going to want to go to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway just yet because, again, towards the front of the park. So I would try to go over to Toy Story Land. Yeah. So we can go on Slinky Dog.
Got to get to that one. That's like the number one ride that goes longest wait time. Oh,
yeah. So we would try to go get that. Maybe Midway Mania, even though that one's a little more, I know, manageable than Slinky. And now, because there's no standby for Rise of the Resistance, you have to be in the park and get on the virtual queue at 8 p.m. for this particular party. So do that while we're doing that. And then maybe we would do like a single rider feature for like Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
Have you been on Smuggler's Run, I'm assuming? Did you ever do single rider line on there?
No.
I went once and it was that we were on single rider. We got put in the back as shooters, which is like it's the job that children should have. But instead, these two 5-year-old twins were the pilots and they pissed me off so much and I couldn't say anything because they were children.
Yeah.
But we did laugh a lot during it. Then another time we were with this family and they were so funny. They were just like yelling at each other, but in a funny way. Right. Like, and we were just crying, laughing. They were they're like, run, you gotta do it, run.
Yeah. It's fun like that.
Well, anyway, so we can do single rider for that, you know, get that done. How do you feel about Muppets 3D as a whole?
Last time I went, I did that because I was like, I haven't been this in so long and there's never any wait for it. And I love the Muppets. So I love Muppets 3D.
I love Muppets 3D. It is an evergreen for me. There is possible news of it.
I'll be sad.
Going away. I mean, here's the thing. Keep it, but just update the film.
I know. I do love seeing like the very like 90s Muppets and some of the voices have changed over time.
Yes, it is. Yes. Frank Oz is there.
Yeah, and I do love, but yeah, if they could update it. But I am worried because I feel like that area just gets smaller, like the area gets smaller. And so as they start like, you know, they used to have the Streets of America back there,
right.
Muppets, and now I feel like I'm worried about it. But
yeah, I am too, but I'll enjoy it for the time it's around. On my cheat day, I would have gone there with us. But while we are there for the party, I don't want to take up the bulk of the time.
Okay.
Because I'd rather go to one of the holiday shows. So there's a few ones. There's Disney Holidays in Hollywood at Theater of the Stars, which does feature Kermit and Miss Piggy. So here's my plan. Because I also want to see What's This? Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along at the Hyperion Theater.
Yes.
So I would go to Holidays in Hollywood, go there at one of the showtimes for just a few minutes, but it's the outdoor one, so you can leave.
You can exit.
You can leave.
Sit in the back.
When you're at the Hyperion, it feels a little stranger to leave.
Indoor, yeah.
It's an indoor. The reason I want to see What's This? With Tim Burton, the Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas, is there is a Jack puppet that brings you through the show. And I was like, then you won't feel bad that you didn't wait online to meet Jack during the Halloween party. It's like, you saw him. He talked to you. And then I would also plan to skip Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, which is the projection on the Chinese Theater at the end. And then that is when I would go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Because who's going to think
that the ride is open?
That the ride is open. It is. From what I've read, it is still open.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
So as I said, I think I picked a drink. It was kind of by default because I don't drink alcohol.
I don't
but
either, so I love that.
Okay, so we'd have a pomegranate apple cider. We'd do a cheers. Very classy. And then I think the snack that looked the most intriguing there was the red velvet whoopie pie. Very colorful, very not demure.
Not mindful.
Not mindful. It's both at the Backlot, it's at the Backlot Express and the Trolley Car Cafe. I probably would try to get it at Backlot because Trolley Car is technically Starbucks.
Yeah,
and I feel like they make smaller portions there.
Oh, okay.
The carrot cake cookie got transferred over there, and whenever it did, it got smaller than how it was previously.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if they still do, but last time.
Are we gonna dress like do like the Dapper Day, where people dress like the 40s? It'll be cooler because it's nighttime, so we won't be sweating too bad.
I would love that.
But we dress like 19. I see people do that during the day, and I'm like, too hot for me.
Oh, yeah.
But at night, cooler. And if it's November, December, it could potentially be cooler. Sometimes it's still hot, but
I would love that. I think you would look great. I feel like it's funny, like sociopolitically, I'm all about this new generation, but stylistically, I love the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s.
we won't play the gender roles, but we'll just wear the fashion.
Yes. We'll be doing historical fuckery, like gender fuckery.
Exactly.
I would love that.
Okay,
we're doing it.
That'll be a fun night, and then we'll go back to the wilderness, have a good sleep, and then get up.
And get up for our golf cart extravaganza decorating. So on to Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom doesn't have a huge amount of holiday stuff. There is some, and I am glad because I think I would want to do it after we did the Jollywood Nights because I will be emotionally hungover.
Over sensory overload.
Yes.
Holiday overload. Yeah.
I'm like, I filled up also on pomegranate cider.
Yeah.
My overall plan for this day is to look cute and take as many decorations. They're incredibly, they're not your traditional decorations. They are Joe Rohde-esque to the ultimate degree. Yeah. Joe Rohde, I love you so much. You're such a weirdo. We need more people like you in this world. When I heard he was going to retire, I legit got emotional.
It was sad. He was the Imagineer that basically designed Animal Kingdom, and he always wore that really long earring. And I love when he did his Disney Legend ceremony, he put his handprints, but then he laid his so his earring is imprinted with this handprint.
He worked so hard. He had such a vision, and he accomplished it. And
Animal Kingdom is, I've grown to really love it more and more all the time.
It's an inspiration. Also, you can go there, put your head in a specific way, and it says Anal Kingdom. So, you got to do it. So this will be a chill day. We're going to look cute. We're going to take the path of least resistance, right? I will be buying a Lightning Lane pass for Flight of Passage.
Of course.
And then Genie Plus, for the whole day. And then, so I'll have that taken care of. We will be going on Flight of Passage, one of my favorite rides. I'd say Rise of the Resistance and Flight of Passage are pretty locked. Maybe Rise is a bit above that because it's a lot of bang for your buck. It's a long ass ride. You're having and Flight, it's a good amount of time, not as long as Rise though. It feels like Rise is longer.
Yeah, it's more interactive too.
So yeah, I would say we'll do that. And then the first thing I'd want to do is go on Kilimanjaro safaris because apparently you see the most animals earlier in the day. Yeah. Expedition Everest, I would want us to get a reservation together, but there is single rider.
You can ride it so many times on single rider.
Oh my God. I've ridden it like 8 times in a row. I wish I was lying. I think it was legit like 8 times in a row.
It's so easy to do it in single rider.
Back when my inner ear was a lot better than it is now. Yeah. Enjoy your inner ear fluid while you are until you get to like 35. Go on as many roller coasters as possible because then you need to take Dramamine after that. So, so we do that. And then if it's really hot, I don't know how you feel about Cali River Rapids.
I love it. I get really wet.
You do. I would recommend getting a poncho and putting a poncho over your bag.
Yes. And over your shoes.
And over your shoes. Yeah. Maybe it's good. Like it has to be a really hot day if you're going to do it to then dry off afterwards, or if you're going to do it, wear a bathing suit underneath, So the one thing that I did see that's very two things that seem very specific to the holidays was the Merry Menagerie. I might start crying when I talk about this.
Oh, the Merry Menagerie?
The Merry Menagerie.
The birds?
Because, no, they're puppets. And I'm sorry.
Oh, wait,
they're puppets, and they're people that like...
Oh, like they stand behind them?
Yes.
Like they walk with them?
And they're like adorable, like polar bears and penguins.
Okay.
And then they try to encourage the kids to... I was like watching videos of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was crying.
It caught you.
It combines my two favorite things, which is like adorable Winterland animals and artists having jobs.
And financial stability for artists.
It just like at one point, the one puppeteer, she was like, "You can pet the fox," like, and the kid's like, "Oh, I can." It's just like, I'm so sorry, I'm like getting emotional about it, but I saw it and I was like,
that's sweet.
I know we talk shit about Disney, but like the artistry is like, it's so appreciated, and like the way that they're able to move the animals is so magical. Like it really is magical. And I would love like for my child to get to experience that. Mm-hmm. Like that's such a beautiful thing, you know? And I have to say Tree of Life Awakenings, which is something that happens every night. They have like a special holiday edition of it where they will show holiday scenes as the projections on the big Tree of Life that is in the middle of the park. I've never stayed in Animal Kingdom like into the evening. I feel like I always park hop, you know, but
it used to be such a half day park. It used to close a lot earlier. It used to close like 4 or 5. Now it closes at like maybe 7. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame because in Pandora it's like bioluminescent, it glows, but the sun, it closes by the time it gets dark to really enjoy it, so you don't ever really get to enjoy it.
I wish they would be open later, but I think for the sake of the animals,
or just keep that part open. Like maybe be like, you know what, the animal trails, the safari, all that's closed, but I don't know if it affects the animals if there's the noise of the people or whatever. But maybe they could just do like a Pandora night or something. I mean, there's not that much to do there, so
yeah, but like just taking in the. I'm totally with you. It is tucked in the back, so I guess maybe that's why it's like hard. And I will say Animal Kingdom can be a bit difficult to navigate.
It's hard when you're like, I want to do this, and you're like, oh, but I'm over here. It feels very vast.
Yes.
Like when you look at a map, or when you're like, oh, I've got to cross over. Like, you know,
they're pretty siloed each place, and you can get a little turned around if you've never been there before.
Sure.
And the only treat I mean, there weren't a ton of treats that were available, but there was a menagerie cupcake that looked like the polar bear.
I guess we're getting that.
I was like, well, I cried about it, so I should get one.
What is it? A cupcake?
It's a cupcake,
and bear on it?
It looks like the polar bear that they have the puppet of.
Okay, yeah.
And it just looks really cute.
Yeah.
That would be the treat I get.
So my 2 parks were Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So talking about holiday sensory overload, maybe we want to put one of your days in between these 2 because there's a lot.
Yes.
These are probably the most holiday heavy parks, I think, in terms of what you could experience. But for our stay, I wanted to stay at the Grand Floridian because they have the largest gingerbread house display. Mm-hmm. And I thought that would be very fun. A lot of the other resorts will have gingerbread houses and they usually list them. But I think Grand Floridian always has the biggest one. But they're really fun to go to the other hotels and see because they're like intricate designed.
Yes.
When they're done with the houses, they do something with the gingerbread. Like they don't just throw it away. Yeah. Like there's something that they can do with it. Because I was like, can you eat it? But I don't know if you can. But it's not just wasted. I think that's the point I want to make. But I thought that would be really fun to stay there. And I've never stayed at Grand Floridian. And it's on the monorail. So it's easy to go to these 2 parks that we're going to.
Smart. Yes, smart kid.
So Magic Kingdom, we can do Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So as we were talking about the parties, this is very similar to Halloween, offered multiple times, beginning November 1st through December 31st, I think. And you can enter at 4 p.m. The party's actually 7 usually. So I thought, well, we would just, hang out at the Grand Floridian, maybe tour some gingerbread houses, do the monorail. They do the monorail bar crawl, but we're not really going to drink, but maybe we could visit and just like get the little snacks or like look at the gingerbread houses or just play in the other resorts.
We can judge the other people that are doing it.
Yeah.
Be like, they're going to fight tonight.
Yeah. It's going to get real messy.
Someone's going to break a gingerbread house.
Yes. It's going to try to walk through that gingerbread house or barf in it. So we can play around at the resort because that's something I don't always take advantage of. But I'm usually at Pop Century, so not really a lot to do there. But if I was staying at one like this, I'd maybe want to take half a day or a day and be like, let's just enjoy the amenities or like, what the resort has to offer. So we could go to Magic Kingdom, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, enter at 4 p.m. And I think we should go back and do an early dinner at Skipper Canteen. Have you ever eaten there?
I've never have because I just always think it's going to eat up so much time. Eat up.
I'll
be here all week.
You're like perfect for that because it's puns, Jungle Cruise themed dining. So when the host like takes you to the table, they're making jokes. I don't remember the waiter doing that much. I did it on a solo trip. And it's actually a great experience being a solo diner because I feel like you get a lot of attention and it's very quick. So it doesn't eat up a lot of your time. But for the two of us, I thought it'd be good because they have different food. It's a little bit different options, vegetarian options as well. You could potentially have lighter fare and it's not the usual like corn dogs and fries for dinner. So you're full, which I mean, I'll eat that too. But for the party, yeah, there's lots of, there's characters to see in their holiday outfits. We've talked about not being big on waiting in character lines. So I thought we should really focus on having our dinner and then really choosing the rides that have the special holiday overlays. So like the Halloween party, there will be certain rides that have special holiday overlays. And we could fit in some other rides, like we should do Tiana's Bayou because that's new. Why not?
Yes.
But I want to do Space Mountain. They play holiday tunes while you ride. Jingle Cruise, the jokes are holiday themed instead of Jungle Cruise. Now, Jingle Cruise, they actually do during the day as well.
Yes.
So if you're not going to the party, you could do Jingle Cruise. It's not just a party specific, but I feel like that would probably be one of the first ones I do because it's probably going to be one of the most popular because Jungle Cruise is a very popular attraction.
They used to do Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam without the party, but now it's being put into Jollywood Nights.
Yeah, that's
just
part of it.
Heads up, something that I learned.
Yeah. The Mad Tea Party, not one I always do. Teacups. I don't mind spinning. I just don't always do it. But there's 4 different combinations of holiday lights and music that you can get when you ride. So we're going to ride it 4 times.
This is your Expedition Everest.
Yeah, we're going to get off and we're going to get back in line. And Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, which I think is hilarious. I think that's an underrated attraction. If you're not a big ride person, it is you're sitting in what is supposed to be a comedy club. You're watching animated monsters on screen, but there are live comedic performers in real time telling the jokes. And it's amazing because the animation matches like what they're saying.
Yeah. So that's why I tell people, we'll talk about it later, Turtle Talk.
Yes, with Crush.
With Crush.
Yeah.
Those improvisers are amazing.
Yeah, they're improv. They're going off of, they interact with the audience. You can text joke ideas in. Sometimes they'll do them. But they're usually really funny. Like I find them to be really funny. And so there'll be holiday themed jokes, of course, in that show.
Can I say something, by the way?
Of course.
When we were at this wasn't at Very Merry Christmas, but when we were at Mickey's Not So Scary, I'm always curious what happens to the service dogs during fireworks. And a lot of them were in Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
A good place for them to stay.
That's where they were. I saw several service dogs hiding in there during the fireworks.
Bless them.
I know. And I went, thank you for your service.
And they're like, get us out of here. I've had enough of Disney World. And then finally, this is a ride I never do, but there's special holiday lights and music on it. It's the Speedway in Tomorrowland. I never do that one.
I don't either.
I feel like it's not very exciting.
Well, once you get your license, you're like, okay.
Yeah, and you can't, you're on a track. And
yes.
It's like, but they call it Speedway Race through the holidays. So I'm like, I want to do it because it's holiday themed.
Why not?
So those are the ones I'd want to make sure we do because they're special. But of course, like we're gonna roam around and maybe do Pirates or maybe do something else in the meantime.
Tron?
We could do Tron. Have you done Tron yet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be the case, too, that you'll have to enter a virtual queue for that.
Yeah. I know they recently... Tron is no longer a virtual queue.
It's not. Oh, the last time I went, it was virtual queue.
Yeah, me
too.
But I think it's standby now, so it may be that way.
Okay.
Because Tiana's kind of the virtual queue now.
Oh, the crowd
always
is
the
shifted
newer
over.
ride. Yeah. While we're walking around, we may want to have a sweet treat because we've had our dinner. There are so many delicious desserts all over, but I thought if we went to Main Street Bakery, because that's a classic place to go, we could get the Letter to Santa, which is a flourless chocolate cake, hot cocoa mousse, and marshmallows topped with chocolate pieces.
And it's in a little...
It looks like that.
Yes,
It looks like a little mailbox.
It looks like a little mailbox.
With a candy cane. We could post like a photo of it. But I was like, that'd be cute.
That's when I saw in the candy cane is like the little flag that you put.
Yes, when there's mail, yeah.
They also have Santa's belt buckle. I don't know if you saw that one.
Ooh.
I wouldn't get it because I'd just be like, well, his dick is down.
Oh my God. It's a hot dog. They're like, at Casey's Corner, you can get Santa's belt buckle.
There's a vegetarian option as well.
It's not anything meat. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I'm sorry, I have to be like the degenerate of us. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh wait, so this is so it almost looks like a present, but it's his belt buckle.
Yeah.
But what? Oh, Santa's belt buckle, pistachio mousse with a dark chocolate truffle center. And
Okay,
a
that actually
chocolate buckle. That sounds good.
I
We
love
might get that.
pistachio flavored.
Yeah, we're gonna get that.
I'm such a hipster. I'm like pistachio flavored dessert.
Yeah, we're gonna get that for
Okay,
sure.
we're getting it.
So we have two things. Then we're going to watch the Frozen Holiday Surprise Castle Show with Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Kristoff, and the Snowgies. That would be around like 8:15.
Okay.
That is a show that they do during the daytime, they do it during regular park hours as well, I believe. And it's when Elsa like frosts the castle.
Yeah.
And it's really magical. It's done now with the mapping projection. Back in the day, they used to put the icicles and then she would like light them up. And that was really cool. And I do kind of, because you would see icicles on the castle like the rest of after she did it, like they would be there. Whereas the projection, like, I don't know if they keep it up there, but.
Well, Elsa's ice veins inflation has affected it too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Girl's on a budget now.
Yeah, she's on a budget. But it's a really cute show. I think Frozen is such a great, holiday, non-denominational holiday type property.
Oh, yeah. And I will be looking around for dreidels, menorahs.
I've thought about
Stars
Hanukkah.
of David.
I've thought about Hanukkah, and I will say, like, it is unfortunate. I think the Hanukkah representation it's getting better, I think, but it's still not quite enough. Disney is very Christian Christmas. Well, I won't even say Christian, but it's very Santa Christmas. Yes. It's just very, that's really what we're talking about is Christmas.
Well, and the thing is, Hanukkah is not necessarily to Jews the most important Jewish holiday. It just gets a lot of oomph because Christmas is around the same time. I'd say Yom Kippur is probably the most important holiday to Jews. But still, I would say it was important to me because we got more presents during Hanukkah.
Yeah. And I guess we, as a non-Jewish person, I look at it as oh, that's your Christmas. So you love it like we do. Whereas you might be like, oh, it's a cool holiday, but it's not the most important holiday.
Right.
We're like, Christmas is the best.
But Hanukkah felt like the most interactive. Also, we were a household that celebrated both Hanukkah and Christmas. So it was I never felt like I was wanting for Christmas celebration,
Perfect.
know. But
so we'll do the holiday surprise. Then we can do the holiday cookie stroll if we still want more.
Oh my goodness.
So we can take in Snowfall on Main Street because that does happen. They have Snowfall on Main Street. I think that also happens on non-party nights. They do it all the time. I think it's periodically. I think it's like soap. I don't know what
they call it Snope.
Yes, Snope. It's like foamy.
Yes, don't stick your tongue out.
Yeah, don't eat it. They should make it flavored, but that'd probably be problematic.
I think so.
Yeah.
Asbestos flavored.
Yes, asbestos.
That's what it was in Wizard of Oz.
I had an extra arm when I left.
Disney's given me so much.
Yeah. And they give out throughout different locations in Magic Kingdom complimentary cookies and drinks, such as like a red velvet cookie, chocolate chip. They give out hot cocoa, eggnog, different locations. So we could pick a couple, and maybe, at this point, maybe we're sharing a cookie because we've had a lot of sugar at this point. I always recommend sharing the desserts, but that would be fun. And then I think we would do the Once Upon a Christmas parade, and we could do the last parade because that's usually the least crowded. It's at 11 p.m., so it's a late night.
Then all the children have gone home. They've fallen asleep in their strollers.
They're all silent, just corpses in their strollers.
I will say, parents, is the advice that I've heard, is even if your kid can walk just fine, still get a stroller.
Yeah.
So they can fall asleep in it, and you don't have to worry about carrying them at the end of the night.
Carrying dead weight on your body. It really is.
They don't even have jobs.
Yeah, they don't even have jobs. So we'll do the parade, and that will end our Magic Kingdom Very Merry Christmas party. Again, lots of holiday overload. So next day, we're getting up because we're going to Epcot, and this is kind of an all-day affair because we're going to start. So Epcot does International Festival of the Holidays, and this goes on from the end, like I think from Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving through the end of December. So around the countries in World Showcase, you can sort of get a glimpse of traditions from around the world in those countries. But we're going to start over on the other side of the water, and we're going to do Living with the Land, which is one of my favorite rides to do. It's so peaceful. And during that, they have what they call glimmering greenhouses. So you ride through a couple greenhouses if they put Christmas lights and stuff. And Living with the Land is you learn about like what they're doing, what they're planting there in Epcot. And they do use the food for the land pavilion to serve. Mm-hmm. So it is really neat.
During Food and Wine, I do love that they'll be like, oh, this squash, you can see it featured over in, so-and-so.
You can eat it at I do.
But don't try to grab it like that lady did in that viral video, because you'll get banned from Disney World forever.
Yeah, no getting out of boats in Small World or Living with the Land or climbing the Aztec in Mexico.
You're not supposed to do that at the real
you shouldn't do that.
Pyramid.
You should always stay seated in a boat.
Yeah.
That's just a good rule.
Well, I was saying the pyramid you should also not climb. Yeah. And in Mexico, they don't want you to do that either.
They don't want you climbing in general, unless you're specifically there to climb. I don't know. We can there's not a lot of holiday stuff on the, Future World Land Pavilion. So the other thing we can do is the Odyssey Pavilion, which is the big building that connects Mexico right through Test Track. You sometimes walk through it.
Yes.
It's where a lot of times you get your
beer.
Yeah, there's beer there. Or it's oftentimes like the pickup place for if you're buying those Figment popcorn buckets or some kind of pass holder thing. Sometimes they're like, stop in the Odyssey Pavilion to get your whatever. But Santa's in there. So we can meet Santa.
Santa!
I know him.
Santa, I ate your belt buckle.
Yeah, your belt buckle was real good. I liked your black moose. Imagine you say that with a straight face and they're like, oh, all right. I really liked your belt buckle, Santa. The black moose was really good.
Santa is the ultimate bear, isn't he?
Yes. They should have I don't know.
It's Santa and his otters.
Santa and his otters. It's just men and just the suspenders Santa.
Hairy.
Otters. They're like, Mommy, what's this for? What character is this?
This is also an adult evening.
Yeah. This is Utopia. So after we meet Santa, then we can head into World Showcase. And so they do holiday kitchens, which is basically the little vendors around the world, like Food and Wine, but This is the holiday version. I was looking at them. Maybe we want to snack on some of the things there. There's not a lot of vegetarian options, I feel like.
There's seafood if you're a pescatarian.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. And so I was like, I don't know if it may just be getting more appetizer-y type things, and sharing some of those. We can also play the Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition, which is where they give you a little map and you go around and they've hidden little Olafs around World Showcase with a different holiday tradition of that country, and you mark them off on your map, and then you go back to usually the Odyssey Pavilion and you can redeem your map for a prize.
That's so cute.
And last year it was you could pick a frozen cookie cutter like Anna, Elsa, Olaf, something like that.
Is there an age limit?
No. Yes. And sometimes I think people...
Disney's like, we're not stupid. We know
we'll
about
take
you,
your money because you do have to
childless
pay
millennials
for it,
and Gen Z.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no age restriction. I think you do have to pay like a fee for it. But it's cute. Then while we're roaming the World Showcase, we'll do, they have holiday storytellers in some of the countries. And these are people who come out and share the story of that country's tradition. The one I really love is in Italy, La Befana. She kind of looks like an old woman, like Stregonona.
Yes,
and
that's what I was going to say.
She visits sleeping children on the eve of the Epiphany, which sounds terrifying.
But all of these traditions are terrifying when you break them down.
They're all about an adult coming into the home of children. But I always like seeing her. And so I was like, we could do that at Italy. But also between Morocco and France, this is, again, a sad thing with Hanukkah. Between Morocco and France, they've just set up a little Hanukkah storyteller, and he has a dreidel, I think, and he just tells it.
Well, it's similar to like they had the representation of Africa in that little space.
Yes.
Up before Animal. I mean, they still have it, but like before Animal Kingdom existed, there was this little enclave, and it was like Africa's a huge.
It's
continent.
still there, and it's also is kind of, it feels like an afterthought. Like I think now they're like, if you can go to Animal Kingdom if you want.
Yeah.
More. But sometimes they serve snacks there that I'm like, this has nothing to do. Like you can get a big chocolate chip cookie. I'm like, is this in Africa? When we finish with the Hanukkah storyteller, if we decide to do it, for dining, I think we should do a candlelight processional dining package. So they do the candlelight processional, which is at the American Gardens Theater. You can hear the stirring story of Christmas retold by a celebrity narrator and a masked choir with a 50-piece orchestra. And the Voices of Liberty are there. And I've never actually been to it. Have you been to it?
I have not.
Oh, right, you haven't been to the holidays time.
I mean, I've seen clips of like Neil Patrick Harris, John Stamos is a guest often, Josh Gad.
So those are two. They did announce who is going to do it this year. I didn't write all of them, but Titus Burgess, Brendan Fraser, Neil Patrick Harris, Josh Gad, Pat Sajak. He's ABC. I think it's like contract.
Oh no, I know he's retiring too.
He's gone. Ryan Seacrest is there.
Oh
now.
yes.
Sterling K. Brown, yes. Whoopi Goldberg, Nico Santos, Gloria Estefan, and Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel. She always does it.
Oh yes.
And Ralph Macchio.
Oh, I love Ralph.
I saw it. I was like, oh, it said new this year. He's one of the new people. I forget some of these other ones are new too. So I don't know which one would be there that night, but you can do a dining package, which you get. They do these for Fantasmic, and I think sometimes the Epcot nighttime show you can do this. So you basically make a reservation at the reservation, you make a reservation at the restaurant. You're paying a prefix, like you get to pick an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, or some combination like that, and then you're guaranteed like either a section of seating. Like Fantasmic, they guarantee you that middle section of seating.
Right.
Or in this case, you're going to get a seat at the candlelight processional at the time. So you're not having to wait in the standby line and maybe get in. We'll do that and hear the stirring story of Christmas. Then for dessert, even if we've had dessert at the restaurant, after the show, we might want more dessert because I can't get enough sugar when I'm at Disney World, apparently. They do the holiday cookie stroll. So to complete the stroll, you must buy 5 cookies from any of the cookie stroll locations. They give you a passport. So there's a gingerbread cookie. There's a Linzer cookie at Bavaria Holiday Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Peppermint pinwheel cookie, black and white cookie, spiced chocolate cookie, snickerdoodle cookie made with Snickers bar pieces. They emphasize that. Holiday sugar cookie, a jingle sugar cookie. I expected more like international type cookies, but they really only have the German one, I guess.
That bakery, though, is pretty out of this world, though.
The German bakery? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be our Epcot evening. Epcot
oh my God.
Day. We're doing a lot.
We would have our legs amputated by the end because of our type 2 diabetes that we acquired on this trip.
Okay.
Again, I would employ we'll act like Top Chef judges and just take a nibble of every
share things.
But when something is so good and you're just
you can't help it,
dreaming about it.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than to spend the holidays as a rich person with you at Disney World.
And we can do this on a budget. We don't have to stay at the Grand Floridian or the Wilderness Lodge.
No. Do they do decorations at any of the Value?
Yes. Do you know All Star Sports, they make it snow on the football field?
Is it the Snope then, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely.
No, there because it's Value. It's
asbestos there, like they did in Wizard of Oz.
We shredded the trash and we're gonna,
It's just it's documents with Disney secrets on them.
We have to shred these and do something with them. Let the people think it's snow. Yes.
That's where they donate the old pieces of the gingerbread house.
Yes, that's where I read it. That's what it was. That's
the charity.
It's the charity there. Well,
we hope that you are a poor like us and you're aspiring to be a rich and do the things that we would like to do. Stay tuned to our Instagram when we obviously will show us doing every single thing that we have talked about today. All right. Well, I think that's the end of this very comprehensive episode.
Yes.
Please follow us on Instagram and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
See you real soon.